So yeah, that's my problem basically. That would be amazing if I could do that, but I can't. October obviously will be a no buying month because de breidagen. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma, and this here is the current placeholder for my craft corner. Today I'd like to talk to you about a problem of mine. Problem obviously between the things, because it's my yarn stash, and it's not really a big problem, but it's an overwhelming problem. And yeah, I'd like to do something about my yarn stash, obviously. So this video will be about destashing and what I will do to tackle my stash in 2022 and in the future. And I'd like to divide this video up into 4 parts. So first, the problem. So what are we working with? Then how we got here. So kind of the backstory of my yarn stash. Then the goal. So what's my 2022 end goal? And what's my future stash goal? And then the plan. So how will I eliminate all or most of my stash? I found 4 ways to kind of eliminate stash. So I'd like to talk to you about those. But first, the problem. My problem is that I have way too much yarn, and I currently have about 130 skeins in stash. I still have to update my spreadsheet, but it's around that number. And that's kind of overwhelming for me. It might not be that overwhelming to someone else, or someone else might think of it as even more overwhelming than I do. But for me, 130 was kind of alarming when I put it all in my spreadsheet. It's way too much and is way more than I can knit with. The current problem also is that when I buy new yarn, I'm really excited to get started with it and just knit it up, turn it into this beautiful end product. But obviously there are 130 skeins waiting for me to knit with. So what ends up happening is I use old stash and then new yarn kind of, well, it doesn't get forgotten about, but it loses my excitement to knit with it. Like, I'm still excited, but the initial excitement of, oh my gosh, this is so pretty, let me use it right away, that's kind of gone by the point that I get to knitting the garments. That kind of sucks, because I like yarn, I like pretty yarn, and I like knitting with pretty yarn, but I kind of like buying pretty yarn more than knitting with it, or at least I buy more than I can knit with. So yeah, that's my problem basically. So how did we get here? Well, I started knitting in November of 2021, so that's almost a year ago. And I started by wanting to knit my boyfriend and I some Christmas stockings. I really wanted Christmas stockings, but I couldn't really find ones that I really liked in store or online. So I decided to make them myself. My grandma had taught me how to knit when I was younger, but I kind of just fell out of the habit of knitting when I grew up. So I hadn't knit in many years. So I just retaught myself with YouTube tutorials, and I knit 2 Christmas stockings on DPNs, which is in retrospect kind of kind of a lot for a beginner, but yeah, I managed. And if I can find a picture, I'll put it up here. I think I took a picture of the Christmas tree with all the presents and the stockings underneath, but I will have to find it. Um, yeah, so this was the beginning, and I obviously bought way too much yarn. Um, I knit them in drops Nepal, and I have 2 skeins of the red yarn and 2 skeins of the white yarn left. And the red is still in stash. It's been there like since November, and the white has been also in stash. But I recently got it out. It's currently in a whip, because I'm using it to make my folklore cardigan. Um, yeah, so it's going to good use, but I obviously need more than 2 skeins for this, so I did have to buy more yarn to make this project. So maybe it kind of defeats the point of destashing, but for me it's also pretty nice because, you know, um, it's going to good use anyway. So yeah, that's where my stash started. So I had 4 skeins in stash, and I didn't knit them right away. Then I really wanted to make a sweater for myself. Obviously, the second project you ever want to make is a sweater. Um, Also kind of ambitious of me, but oh well. And I made a nice raglan sweater, and I pretty much used up all the yarn for that. I only have a few scraps left, so that's not really stashed. That's just in my scraps bag that I can use. I don't know, but I don't count my scraps bag because it's literally like a few meters of everything. Um, yeah, that's not stashed anymore, but I got it at my local yarn store. And then I kind of got in the habit of going to my local yarn store um, on the way to uni, and yeah, it's really close. I go to uni in Leiden, so the stores are. It's not a big city, so the stores are pretty close to the uni, and yeah. Um, so I just kept going, and I kept seeing pretty yarn, and I kept buying pretty yarn, and I obviously kept knitting, but not as much as I bought. So that's where my stash also grew a bit. And then the big turning point for me, I think, was going to the Handwerkbeurs with my mom and my grandma. The Handwerkbeurs is a pretty big annual yarn fair in the Netherlands. Um, yeah, I went with my mom and my grandma, and I was a pretty new knitter. I don't remember exactly when it was, but it might have been maybe April or May even. I don't know, but yeah. Went with my mom and my grandma, and there was a lot of pretty yarn, and I was pretty new to knitting, so I just saw pretty yarn, I liked it, and I bought it. And even my grandma bought me some yarn because she was really excited, and I just accumulated so much yarn that day, and I still haven't touched most of it. Yeah, but it's also the fibers that I chose was mostly cotton, which I do like knitting with cotton, but um, it's also very specific structure, I think, when you knit with it, and I only like that for certain garments, for certain summer tops. So that hasn't really been used yet. I think I knit one or yeah, I think I knit one summer top with cotton before going to the Antwerpers, and I really like that. And I read somewhere that cotton is great for the summer, so I just ran with that, I guess, and bought so much cotton. And also bright colors like bright purple, bright blue, everything. Um, yeah, that's still in stash. um, yeah, and it kind of took off from there. Yeah, it's not great, but um, it kind of took off, and then over the months it kept growing and growing and growing, and I kept knitting, but I couldn't knit as fast as I was buying, and that's how we got here. Um, yeah. So then the goal for me, I have a 2022 goal and a future goal, because obviously I can't knit 130 skeins within a few months. The 2022 goal is to end up with only 100 skeins. So that would be eliminating 30 skeins at least for my stash. Probably more because I need to update my spreadsheet. But ending with 100 would be kind of great. Uh, it still feels like a lot to have 100 skeins, but eliminating 30 skeins in 3 months is very ambitious. So I do like a challenge, but I also know that it's maybe not the most realistic challenge I have set for myself. But we'll see. And ending up with 100 skeins would just be amazing. Um, for the future, I would honestly like to not have any stash. Um, but I do know that's not um, not very realistic of me. So instead, I would like to have maybe two projects worth of skeins. Well, two project words per kind of project. So two sweater quantities, two summer top quantities, two sock quantities, and so on. Just to make it a bit less overwhelming. It will still be quite a bit of skeins, because especially sweaters and cardigans are obviously requiring a lot of skeins, but it feels like less projects, and it will be less projects, because I currently think I have at least over 30, maybe 40 projects planned, and that's kind of ridiculous because new projects, new patterns keep being brought out. My tastes change, so it's not really realistic that I will be knitting all those probably 40 patterns that I currently have stored somewhere. Now we're on to the how, or the plan. Um, I thought of I thought of four ways to eliminate stash. So first would be to donate it. Second, to use it up. Third would be no buying, and fourth would be gift knitting. And I'd like to go through all of those with you right now. So first, the donating is, I think, something I'm not really ready for right now. I do really like the idea of donating, but I bought all my skeins with projects in mind. I still am kind of attached to all the skeins, I guess. And I do like them, even though they're like ridiculous colors, even though they are in fibers that I don't really love anymore. But I am still kind of attached to my skeins. So for now, donating is not really something that I'm ready for, but maybe in the future. I do know my knit club does yarn swaps sometimes when we meet up, so that would be a great opportunity for me to get rid of stash. Um, the last few yarn swaps, I only ended up acquiring yarn, so that's not too great. Um, but everyone just keeps giving away these amazing skeins, so yeah, I can't help myself. So donating, I'm not really ready for. Using up would be preferable, obviously, but that's very long term, especially with 130 skeins. Using up will take me, I think, 2 years is still an ambitious thought of mine. Um, so yeah, I would like to keep focusing on using up my stash, but I obviously have to do more than that to really eliminate most of it. So no buying would be great if I could just tell myself, no, don't buy anything until you're through all your stash. That would be amazing if I could do that, but I can't. I'm going to the Breidagen in a couple weeks, which is another Dutch yarn fair, and I can't really imagine myself not buying anything at the Breidagen. So low buying it is for me, and yeah, low buying pretty much just means not buying more yarn than I use in a month. So if I, for example, use 10 skeins a month, I don't want to be going out and buying 12. I also want to be very mindful of the colors and the fibers that I pick out, because I currently have a lot of cotton in stash, and I realized cotton might not be my thing to really just go out and find a pattern for, and find a pattern for that I like, because of the structure cotton provides. So not really buying that much cotton would be great. Colors, I think I'm going in a more neutral kind of um, phase. I say while knitting a bright red turtleneck, but neutrals or just kind of muted darker colors, that's, I think, something I really like. That's what I want to be mindful about. And I would like to do a no buying month or something, just to kind of test myself with that. October obviously won't be a no buying month because the Breidagen. But maybe November, December, those would be great months for no buying for me. And that would really help to get to my 2022 goal. So no buying is not something I want to really implement. Also because I do have so much yarn in my stash that I currently don't really have a plan for. And it kind of feels like a punishment to not buy anything. Especially for me as a beginning knitter, I really just got overly excited and kept on buying pretty things. And since then, especially since the handwerkbeurs in the beginning of my knitting journey, my tastes have changed, really. And I don't want to punish myself for something that I bought half a year ago with good intentions, but I just can't really see myself knitting that up right now. So no buying is a punishment, and I don't really want to punish myself. I want knitting to be fun, and I want yarn to be fun, buying yarn to be fun. So no buying is not something I will be implementing, but I will be implementing low buying. And then lastly, gift knitting. That's something that I'm really excited for, especially with the holidays coming up. Um, I have been gift knitting here or there, but not really that much, and I have been buying yarn to gift knit. Um, for gift knitting, I would really like to use my stash, just to further eliminate that, to get those skeins that I don't really see for myself and I still like out of the way, and just make someone happy with a finished project of something that I really liked. It feels less radical than donating it, because it will still be out of my life, but when donating it, I I don't have control of what's being made with the skeins, and I might not even see the end result. And gift knitting, I know it will go to a loving home, to someone that I know, and I will still be kind of in touch with the yarn. I will be seeing the end result. I will be still knitting up those fibers, the skeins. And yeah, I think gift knitting is kind of a lower skill to donating, like a step up or step down from donating for me, and I think that's a nice medium. So, in conclusion, donating is not something I'm ready for. Using up would be preferable, but it's very long term. We're looking at 2, maybe even 3 years. No buying. I don't want to punish myself, so I'm going for low buying and gift knitting. I'm really excited to get started on that, especially with the holidays around. So I would like to take you along on my destash journey. It will be a long one. So yeah, I would like to take you along, and I could maybe do that in my knitting podcast if you like that. So if you like that, please drop it down below, so I know that and I can implement it in my videos, and I will keep you updated on that. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to stay updated on my destash journey or just my knitting journey in general, please consider following me. And I will see you guys again real soon. Bye.